Welcome to Point of Impact. We want to thank you for tuning in for this week's episode. Up until this point of the season, you've been seeing us chase trophy bucks across the Honey Creek Ranch and in Sheridan County as well. You've seen Joe and Kale, Jesse, Cody, Sierra, and Cole put down great bucks across Missouri. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on doing, is managing our deer herd and being able to harvest those mature bucks. And in this episode, we're going to show you one of the key aspects to focusing on that deer management, and that's shooting enough does to keep the population down. It's something overlooked by many, and everyone that goes and sits out in the deer stand wants to see a lot of deer, me, myself included, and it's just something that you really have to work hard at, is lowering your population and making sure you can feed all the mouths that are staying on your property in order to have your bucks reach the top end potential. So stay tuned and follow us as we go throughout our season of doe management.
Point of Impact is brought to you by Under Armour. Go where you don't belong. Rage, the revolutionary rear-deploying expandable broadhead. Big Game Tree Stands. Rock solid. Nocturnal lighted knocks. Bass Pro, the granddaddy of all outdoor stores. Muddy Outdoors. And McBee Custom Homes.
There's nothing like live target practice, and that's exactly what does give you the opportunity to do. On this first hunt, it's early in the year, early October, and Jesse's going out and trying to harvest a doe to break the ice and shoot one with his Hoyt. And that's really what we like to do, is in the early season put down our does first, because you're not cold going out and tracking them at night, and the weather's absolutely gorgeous, and so we love to take our does out early in the year. Now we'll head to the Redneck Blind with Jesse and see if he can get it done with his bow.
Well, we're finally all set up now. We had a little buck in the field right when we got here. We had to wait a little bit for it to clear out. We finally got up in here, and it was so hot in here. We have 3 people in here. It makes it really uncomfortable and really crowded. So we had to basically get in our skimmies here. We're all, undressed, our boots are off and everything. It's super hot in here, but it's been a good weekend so far, so we're hoping that'll carry over to tonight, and we'll see what happens. So fast, we were literally in the stand for, what do you think, 5 minutes? Oh, not even 5 minutes. We had, how many does were there? 6, 7 does. Yeah, just come barging into the field. Oh man, that happened so fast. Yeah. We are literally in the most uncomfortable situation right now. We have 3 people in this little redneck blind. It's so hot. We had to, we had to get in our skimmies. It's so hot now. But that was awesome. We finally got one on film. Let's go. Why don't you stand up and show the audience what you're wearing? All right, audience. This is kind of embarrassing, but here we go. Oh yeah. Boots are off and everything. We got one. Let's go. Well, as you can see, this is what I was wearing when I killed her. But don't worry, I'm gonna put some camouflage on to go find her. We still have to be quiet though, because this is an awesome buck area. We didn't plan on killing a doe tonight, but you can't pass up that opportunity. So let's keep quiet and go see if we can't find her. Oh yeah. Nothing better than the combination of Realtree and Under Armour. It's the best. Ready to go. This is a spot where we've gotten a ton of great bucks. butterfly. It's just beautiful. We're gonna try to sneak in there. Hopefully find her really fast. Get her out as quick as possible. Get this interview done. And get out of here, because we want to kill a buck here next time. We're on good blood right now. Looks like she just headed right into that trail, right into the woods. It's right there. We're gonna go follow her in there and see if we can't find her. Let's go. Looks like we got some pretty good penetration. Wonder where the other half is. Let's go find her. Did you find her? There she is. Oh, yeah. That a boy. First kill of the year. Oh, man. Look at that. Still stuck inside. Look what this core did to her. Couldn't be more happy with these cores. Well, after an eventful weekend, we ended it with a doe. Couldn't be more happy with the Hoy, the core broadheads. Put the smack down on this big old mature doe. We still gotta be quiet because this is a buck spot, but you know, couldn't be more pleased. Steven and I, we've been hunting hard these past 2 days. Finally, we were able to get on one. You know, we had 3 people in the stand. It wasn't the perfect situation, but we still got the job done. I couldn't be more happy.
We appreciate you watching Point of Impact exclusively on the Pursuit channel. Be sure to visit our website at www.pointofimpacttv.com. Here you have the opportunity to see photos, videos, visit our sponsors, get to know our crew, shop for our latest Point of Impact gear, and even link to our social media platforms. So join the conversation and always be up to date with the Point of Impact team.
Jesse was able to put the doe down with his Hoyt, and she didn't run far. The Rage absolutely did a number on her. I bet she didn't go 100 yards. Now, about a month passed until we were able to really get another doe on the ground, and I don't know if it was because of the October lull and the deer just weren't moving, or if we were seeing bucks and we just didn't want to shoot a doe with the bucks around and spook them off. But about a month passed until Cody got out there and sat in a redneck blind, and the time and area had completely changed. It was early November, it was freezing cold out, and the leaves had all starting to fall. And the rednecks, this is where they really come in handy, is you can hunt in them when it's hot or in the early season, or as it gets cooler, even into January, whenever it's freezing outside. And that's what Cody did here. He sat in it, it was cold outside, and he was able to get a doe on the ground.
Well, it's November 13th. It's 14 degrees down on this bottom. We got a stand back over here to the south of us. We decided to hop into this redneck. We've had a lot of action in our little bean food plot that we left this year. This long field is a great field for them to cross back and forth. We've already had 2 bucks in it. We're hoping that they'll come down the ridge and they have this little creek crossing that they used to travel. Right now we've got one doe out here in the middle of the field as I'm talking. We just had another doe right here. Seen something she didn't like, so she took off, but this place is loaded with deer. So stick with us and we'll see if we can make something happen.
On this morning, Tyler and I decided we was going to the Fuller Bottoms. It's a spot we love to go hunt with a lot of deer. We decided we was going to sit in the redneck that morning with it being so cold out. Fortunately for us, the deer had come right down the ditch and was going right next to the bow stand that we usually sit in. There was a little buck pushing a couple does around. Eventually, the buck had come up through the ditch and pushed a doe right to us. She gave us a 40-yard shot opportunity, and I took that shot.
Well, we just had a young little 5 or 6 pointer come in, pushing 5 or 6 does around over here on the backside. They were actually right underneath their bow stand. He pushed them around a couple times. We thought he was gonna get a shot up here in this ditch. They ran back on in there. Finally, he pushed them all the way out. We had one come out on the edge of this field over here. I ranged her at 40. I hit her a little bit high, dropped her out there in the field.
Well, me and Tyler sit here this morning, had a lot of does. We had one good buck come down this field line here, a couple smaller ones. This one was chasing all these does. We finally had her come out here in the corner, sitting in the redneck stand about 40 yards back. Made a little higher shot than I like. Good yearling, be good meat for the freezer. So couldn't be any happier. On this evening, we switched it up a little bit. Tyler had been filming most of the year, so I decided I would be behind the camera and let him do the hunting.
All right, so me and Cody just got set back up in the stand. It's a week before rifle season. We're after the 8-point I missed about 2 weeks ago. So we just seen a deer not too long ago. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Once we got set up in the stand, it wasn't shortly after that we had deer entering the field. We had a couple bucks that come in from the top side. They were starting to make some scrapes and actually starting to push some does around. We had so much activity going around between the field and the woods. We were all turned around in the stand. We had a buck start pushing this doe right down towards the edge of the field. When she came out, gave Tyler a perfect 20-yard shot. He did his job and she didn't go far.
Matt. Awesome. Smoked her, dude. She just fell down right there. 20-yard shot, broadside, perfect. Smoked her. Good job, dude. Big old mature doe. Gave her the dirt nap tonight. That was an awesome hunt, dude. Good job, buddy.
Welcome back to Point of Impact. If you're just tuning in, this week is all about doe management, and so the team is going out and trying to put some slick heads on the ground.
Good evening, here we are. It's the last night of the Missouri gun season. We're out here doing a little bit of doe management at the filter freezer. We're a little low on some deer meat, so we've been seeing a lot of does contests filled every single night, and let's see if I can get lucky. Oh, hey, right there. Couple does stepped out. Oh, that's a good one. She's mature. She's good. We're having some backstracks for the dinner tonight.
Good job, buddy.
Let's go.
You smoked her.
I know. Ooh, first kill of the year for me. Feels pretty good.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks. That was fun. Well, let's go find her.
Well, here she is. We tracked her about 80 yards last night, but it was good blood. We just didn't want to push her or anything, so it came back this morning, and she wasn't too much farther where we ended last night. She's a big mature doe. That's what we wanted. We wanted to get some meat in the freezer. It was a 300-yard shot, and Cody and Tyler and all them, they always make fun of me for my shooting ability, but I mean, when you make a 300-yard shot, I don't know what else you could say. I mean, that's a pretty good shot. So she's a good-looking doe, and I'm really happy with her, and it was a really fun hunt.
Now, throughout the year, not only did I have problems killing a big buck with a bow, I couldn't even get a doe on the ground. And with the ATA show just around the corner, I knew this was my last chance to get in the stand and try and get a deer on the ground, so I was taking advantage of it.
It's crunch time now. It's the last day I'll be able to hunt for the season, 2015. We leave for the ATA show here in 2 days, and Jesse's actually back in school tonight, so I have Sierra behind the camera filming me. Here comes another deer into the field. There's 2 of them now. We already have 2 deer in the field. We just got set up like 5 minutes ago, so I think it's gonna be a good night. I'm just out here trying to shoot a doe, and hopefully if a big buck comes in too, I'll get an opportunity at it. We have a couple of shooters over here. One that we call Rocket. He's got an extra main beam shooting straight out the front, looks like a unicorn. But we don't like to give our deer such feminine names as unicorn, so we call them Rocket. These does are only at about 90 yards. If they come in about 30 yards closer, they're gonna be in range. So hopefully Sierra can get on them. We'll see. This is one of her first experiences being a cameraman, especially using this camera. So we'll see how it goes.
These 2 yearlings stepped out at 70 yards, and they wouldn't come any closer all night long. With no other mature deer entering the field, I was willing to take a yearling doe knowing this was my last chance to hunt. And usually whenever you're practicing doe management, you want to take your more mature does out of the herd, especially not your yearlings. But like I said, last chance to hunt, I just wanted to get a deer on the ground for the year. And these 2 yearlings were in the field all night long, and right before dark, I went ahead and decided to take the shot. It was around 70 yards, which is a lot further than I usually like to shoot, but I'd been practicing all summer long with my Elite, and I felt comfortable all the way out to 90 yards. And I wouldn't shoot at a deer this far. I was making sure it was within 75 yards if the deer was feeding. If the deer was moving at all, I'd only shoot out to 40 or 45 yards. And that's one thing you really have to learn as a bow hunter, is knowing your effective limit. And on this hunt, I knew I could shoot a long ways with me sitting down and having an extremely stable shot. And so when the deer stepped out at 70 yards, I knew I could make it.
That was a poke.
It took you forever to get there.
Dude, that was 70 yards, man. This year's been so tough, and tonight's my last night to hunt, and those 2 little yearlings stepped out, and one of them I know was a button buck, for sure. And I'm almost positive this one's a yearling doe, which isn't ideal for doe management. A pretty good poke out there at 70 yards. Looked like it dropped in and hit her pretty well. We'll see, but we'll give her a few minutes and go check it out. Well, we'll go see if we can't find her. Pretty good little shot. We wouldn't have been able to hunt tonight if it wasn't for the redneck. It was freezing cold. Let's go see.
See that nocturnal glowing? I knew she was a yearling, but she's a doe, so at least it ain't a button buck. I was just walking through and seen this nocturnal glowing. That's pretty sweet. Gotta love nocturnals. It's been rough. It's been rough. I'm really glad I was able to actually shoot a deer this season. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to tonight. These 2 came out earlier, just 2 yearlings, and I didn't know where their mom might be, a more mature doe or any mature doe that would have came into the field. They came back out right before dark, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity. It was getting so dark and I didn't have a flashlight. Luckily the nocturnal was glowing and it was still in her, so I was able to see her from about 60 or 70 yards away. This is the only deer I'm gonna take this year, but you know, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I want to thank Sierra for being my camera girl tonight. She usually doesn't hunt anywhere post November 15th because it's too cold for her, so I had to drag her out tonight and get her in the heater bodysuit and make her be my cameraman. So I appreciate it, Sierra. Thank you very much, and looking forward to next year.
All right, we just got back last night late from the ATA show. It was a great time, learned a ton. But since we knew this front was coming, we decided we might come back, see if we can't get something on the ground. Tonight, we have a front going on right now, actually. I thought we might be able to beat it to the stand, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. Hopefully we can get something on the ground. We got about a 3-acre bean field, and we're going to be in a dry blind tonight. So either way, it's going to be a good time. We have a south wind and about 40 degrees. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the deer will be moving good, and we can put something down. All right, as you guys can probably hear in the video, the rain's picked up quite a bit tonight. So we came to this blind mostly to stay dry and because we got a good food source in front of us. These beans are great, you know, wet late season hunting because there's going to be a ton of deer out in the field. Our main plan tonight is to try and harvest a doe, but obviously if one of the bucks we've been after all year comes out, we're going to go ahead and take him. Last night, Joseph and I gave up on looking because it was getting dark and we decided probably wouldn't be able to find blood. It was mist and rain, so I decided to let her have the whole night to maybe expire. And I found my arrow last night, so I left my arrow right here. From here, we're going to go try tracking her. As you can probably see, it snowed a little last night. I made a pretty good shot, so I don't think she went far. So hopefully we'll find her in the next 10 minutes or so. As you all can probably see, this isn't what I wanted to walk up on this morning. You know, last night it was raining. I left this doe overnight thinking that it'd be fine. And I mean, that's right there is why we coyote hunt. It's because if you can't leave a deer overnight without it getting ate up, you know your coyote population is too high. And I haven't done enough coyote hunting on this area, but now I'm going to start. You know, it really is just a terrible feeling whenever you walk up on a deer that you harvested and then you have to see it like this. You shouldn't have trouble leaving a deer overnight. So I'm sorry that I brought it to you like this, but I really think this needs to be seen by about everybody so people understand why we do kill coyotes and why we hunt them so hard. It's unfortunate, it really is. But hopefully I can get some coyotes killed off this farm and get this problem taken care of.
Effectively managing your deer herd is something that takes 365-day effort, year in and year out. Along with doe management, which is one of the main tools you can use to help your bucks reach their top end potential, we also like to make sure we keep our predator population in check. As you can see from Cale's hunt, the coyotes absolutely destroyed his doe just overnight. So there obviously needs to be some coyotes taken out of that area, and that's what we plan on doing next here into January and February. We also like to plant food plots at this time and plant native grasses as well. We just want to make sure our deer are living as healthy and nutritionally sound as possible. We hope you enjoyed this episode and really take it to heart and use it on your deer herd wherever you're located. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.